What's going on, everybody? It's been a while since I've done any kind of vlog. I always say that when I start these kinds of things, but this one's a little different. And wanted to talk about something that's coming up in just a few days. There will be a longer video about this entire event in which I will probably say some of these same things. But I wanted to get some of my thoughts out before any of this really kicks off, because we've got about 4 days right now until the event itself. And of course, I'm talking about the Great Cut 2024. And to say that I'm like excited to do this and it doesn't feel real to me would both be really accurate. But I kind of wanted to talk about why and just my entire kind of hair journey a little bit, because I think it's been something that, whether I've realized it or not, has made a big impact on me since I've started growing out my hair. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it. So growing up, I always had really, really short hair. I had to get haircuts pretty often. It was usually just my dad in a garage with a clipper, and didn't really like it. It always freaked me out. I would flinch all the time, and it just wasn't very fun. And always had short hair. I actually didn't know until I grew my hair out for the first time, which is this time in stages, and I'll get to that. But I didn't know I had curly hair. And so the first time it grew out, I was like really weirded out. I was like, why is my hair getting big? What's going on? And I had all these questions. And it was around the time that I was a little past growing it out for the first time in a way that was getting a little crazy, that I found this company called The Long Hairs. And if you know me in real life, you know I won't shut up about them. And there's a reason. There's a reason for that. And a lot of that comes from the fact that I've grown a lot as a human being, as a person. As I've grown out my hair, I've done some really stupid things. I've done some amazing things. I've transformed my life. If I think about where I was the first time or the last time rather, that I got a real haircut, as I call it, like a real short haircut, was just a few days, if not the day, before I went skydiving. And that was a time in my life where things were so turbulent for me, personally. And I hit this like weird rock bottom point, and I called one of my buddies, and I was like, hey man, I want to do something crazy. I need to like shake it up, and I want to go skydiving. And he goes, not only am I supportive of you, but if you do it, I'll do it. And he did. And I joked before I went that I wanted to be really aerodynamic for my skydive, and so I had super short hair. I'll try to remember to throw up a picture if I can. But it was like this crazy thing, and I did it, and it felt really unreal. And I didn't know I was going to grow my hair out at that point. It just was like, it was a reset button. It really was. And I just didn't go get my hair cut, and that was the start of it. It was not intentional. I just kind of grew it out for a while, and it got a little bit, I remember it being weird when it touched my ears. Like, that was a bizarre experience that I wasn't ready for. And then, like I said, the curls happened, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what is all of this? And I went from using, and we all kind of give it a hard time in the community now, but like the 2-in-1 shampoo, or just like, $6 whatever. And all of a sudden I found the Long Hairs, and there was this group of dudes from all over the country that were not only like growing out our hair or thinking about some things that I hadn't even given thought to, but there was this confidence, this all-around badassery that just kind of broke my brain. Not because I'm never confident in myself, and this is where I'm going to get into another angle on this, but as a visually impaired person, there are still things about long hair that are like this inherent visual stuff that I don't quite put a finger on. And this community has been so helpful in trying to dissect some of those things when I have questions. But also, I think one of the things that happened for me was realizing that because I carry a white cane everywhere I go, I'm going to get stared at. I'm going to be seen as different. And that's some of the things that some of the kids who receive hair from children with hair loss go through. And I don't experience nearly what some of them do in school. amongst their friend groups, in their own lives, daily as kids. I think they go through, honestly, more than what I have in my life, because I really didn't get bullied a whole lot. Did it happen? Absolutely. Do I still get weird stuff as a grown-up? Sometimes. But what I realized is I can carry around a 5-foot-long stick everywhere I go, and people are going to stare at me. And people would stare at me whether I wore a suit and was all prim and proper and, crossed my T's and dotted my I's, or whether I had long hair and earrings and lived my own life to the way that I want to live my life. And associating myself with the long hairs, really getting on board with this brand, and not just being like, oh, I use their stuff and I like their stuff. I think it has altered my lifestyle a little bit. I'm pretty laid back, I'm pretty easygoing, and this company and these people and the real human behind, not human as in a person, but the human emotion behind the things that they do and what they stand for, and the partnership they have with children with hair loss, made it so easy for me. After I realized that the first one had been done, I kind of followed the journey in 2019, not really understanding what the Great Cut was until it was over. And I was excited about it, but I didn't really know what to make of it. I thought it was neat, but that was about it. In 2020, I moved states, and when I moved states, I needed to find a job. And so the first job that I was able to find was working with kids. And holy crap, did that change the landscape for me. Because all of a sudden the Great Cut went from this abstract, like, oh, that's a cool thing that they do, and I like that, to these kids are the ages of the kids I'm working with. Now, I have not personally, at least that I've been aware of, I have not worked with kids with medically related hair loss, or at least in the time that I've worked with them. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened or that it won't happen. But being able to create a really empathetic connection with kids, and when they started to say to me things like, you look like a girl, or why is your hair like that? All of a sudden I had an answer. And I don't know exactly when I really committed, other than when I put the videos up on this channel, which you can find, to the Great Cut. But there was a point at which I was like, I gotta do this. I need to be there, in person. And I think a lot of that, I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it, is because I work with kids, and this organization that gives a sense of normalcy to kids is so impactful to me as a teacher, as someone who has watched kids struggle with being people for less than their hair, who haven't even had that problem and they struggle. And so there are kids out there that need hair to feel like they're people. And if I had one message for them, I would say you're a person no matter what you have on your head, whether it's hat or hair or nothing at all. And I'm really hoping this year that I can get to the charity ball in Michigan in person, because I tried to make it this last year, and I was working 2 jobs, and things just really fell through. And watching it made me regret not being there, because to have the chance to meet some of these kids and have the potential impact and work with the long hairs on some way to help, that's something I'd like to do. I'm going off on tangents, but I decided that for me, the best way to be on board, to represent how much I care about this brand as more than a brand, but as a concept and as a lifestyle, and as something that hits really close to home for me as someone who works with kids, is to be there. And so I started saving up. I worked a couple of jobs and really put away for the first time to be able to do this crazy thing and fly out to San Diego and to be there. And I'm really excited because we have plane tickets. My girlfriend is going to go with me, and she also is taking a hair donation in person, and so she is on board and donating her hair as well, which means a lot. And so we're going to be there on March 16th, 2024 at the Great Cut. Let's go. But to be able to be there and to experience this with so many other people that have also grown out their hair, to hopefully meet Chris and Lindsay, the founders of Long Hairs, in person, as well as other people who have been in and around the community with us, whether through the Facebook group that we have, or just by hearing about it and showing up, or family members, so however people are associated. I'm just so excited to be able to interact with people and really make the most of that day, that event, and if we could break a world record on top of it, I'm down. Of course, I think that would be amazing, but honestly, just the chance to do this is something that, like I said, it just doesn't feel real. And I can't wait. I'm getting up at dark 30 on Friday to shampoo my hair one last time, and I don't know how much I'm going to donate, but this is what I got. I would assume that, like, from my head, maybe a foot. I don't know. I don't know how much I have, and I don't know how much is gonna go. But I could probably be talked into most of it going, because I love what Children with Hair Loss is and what they do, and to be able to be a part of an event like this is something that I think I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, and I hope that other people who are going to donate as well have this same sense of pride and of dedication, and I don't know what else to say other than I can't wait to be there. So that's why on March 16th, 2024, I will be parting with a part of my identity that has been with me since I moved states. I had slightly beyond awkward stage length hair in 2020 during the pandemic and just let it go. I had some really bad haircuts in there that took away. I probably would have, another 3-4 inches of hair if I would have done things differently, but I can't do things differently. I can only do what I can do now. And I hope I can make the most of it, and I hope you can make the most of it. And whether you are also coming in person, whether this is the first you're hearing of the event, I encourage you very highly to visit thegreatcut.us, get some more information, or thelonghairs.us to get some more information about the long hairs. I will also put a link to the Children with Hair Loss website in the description as well. I can't wait to do this, and I appreciate all of you who have been so supportive of me doing this in real life, online, in the long hairs community, wherever you have been. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to come out of Saturday looking different. Peace.